Good morning, everybody. We're now talking about Noah. Noah's Ark, Genesis 6 to 9. After Adam and Eve left the garden, many people were born. The people kept doing bad things and they forgot about God, except Noah. Noah loved God. God was sad that everyone but Noah forgot about him. He told Noah about his plan to start again. Make yourself an ark, God said. Here's how. So Noah and his family began working on the ark. When it was done, God said, take your family and 2 of every animal into the ark. Animals creeped, crawled, hopped, and galloped onto Noah's new boat. After everyone was inside, the rain began to fall, and fall, and fall. The ark rocked this way and that way on the rising water. Finally, the rain stopped. Water covered everything. Everyone inside the ark was safe. Noah and his family were very happy. One day, Noah sent a dove to find land. It flew and flew but never found any, so it came back. 1 week later, Noah sent the dove out again. This time it brought him an olive leaf. Noah cheered. It must have found land. The ark finally came to rest on the top of a mountain. God told Noah to leave the ark. Noah and his family praised God. God put a beautiful rainbow in the sky. It was a beautiful sign of his promise to never flood the whole earth again.
You've just heard Lolly telling you the story of Noah and the ark. I had to do it in the style of a fairy tale because in the world today that's sort of what the story of Noah and the ark has become. It's a very widely known story. I'm sure all of you have heard it before. And for those older ones, I don't know if you spotted the continuity error where Lolly held up this book and then read from this book, which is a totally different book. My daughter Jodie, she has no less than 4 copies of Noah and the Ark in various amounts of picture to writing ratios. And all of them have been very much simplified for the younger market, as in some of them are more childified than others. All of them are missing various details. If you wanted to know, for instance, what colour was the ark, if you read one of these, you would be very much led to believe that it was probably brown and looked very wooden. Whereas if you read the actual Bible, you would discover that it was probably black because it was completely painted over with tar to stop the water getting in. Also, if somebody asked you how many cows were on the ark, you'll see loads and loads of ones like this, the zebra's tail. There were 2 zebras on the ark, but how many cows were there? Well, this just keeps saying how Noah counted up to 2 a lot of times to make sure that there were 2 of everything. Whereas in the actual Bible, it tells you that there are 2 of every animal, but of every clean animal, that clean meaning the ones that God said they could eat, there were 7. So that he could eat some and still have some left. So there's various inaccuracies about these stories, but when you look at them, all of these stories have something in common at the end. Now, in this one, the common aspect is hidden in a cloud. And that's very biblically accurate because it does say that God put his rainbow in the clouds. Now, this rainbow is very sensible. You can see 5 different colours. Scientifically speaking, since rainbows have been sort of studied, it was agreed that there are in actual fact 7. But really accurately, there are as many as your eye can distinguish, all in different shades, and it just goes down to whether or not you've given them a name yet. What I read up was, if you look at Wikipedia, it suggests that what they originally referred to as blue, we would now call cyan, leaving the colour blue to be used with the word indigo, which nobody's ever really heard of indigo apart from rainbows. I don't even believe you can buy it as a paint. And you can buy most things as a paint. If you look in this one, again, brown ark, but 4 colours in the rainbow. Now, the most highly inaccurate rainbow, I believe, was in this one, or was it that one? One of them had a terribly inaccurate rainbow. Where are we? Right at the end. There's a rainbow. Now you'll notice this rainbow has the red on the inside and the blue on the outside. Now that is the sequence for a double rainbow, the one that appears on the outside of the first rainbow, but this is supposed to be the inner rainbow, as you can see. And for some reason there's a pink inside the red, so that's a terribly inaccurate rainbow. But of course these are all designed as children's stories and told as fairy tales, whereas in the actual fact it comes from this book, which is a Bible. Now this book is very much longer and has very much more detail, and there's things like how old was Noah. These won't tell you. He was 600. How long was he on his ark? These don't tell you. He was there for 1 year and 10 days before. I mean, we're all in lockdown at the moment. Can you imagine being stuck on a boat with goodness knows how many animals for 1 year and 10 days? That would have been awful. Anyway, all of these stories have something in common. They all finish with a rainbow, which is beautifully bright and colourful, and that's probably one of the reasons you can get so much merchandising for this story. Here is an ark which we bought in a shop. It has one of every animal. Theoretically the others would be inside, but obviously it just means they can fit more variety. Noah's Ark has a horn, which obviously to get all the other ships that weren't there out of the way, and a piano on the roof. How beautiful. Which I'm not entirely sure was accurate either. But, as I say, because of the bright colours, I mean this particular ark is orange. Somehow he managed to make it out of orange tar, and but as I say, because of the bright colours, it's a very, very popular story. But the main thing about the rainbow, you can see this piano is a bit of a rainbow. And the rainbow was actually God's promise never to flood the earth again. Because the reason God flooded the earth was because everybody was so bad. It needed to be done. God wanted to start again. But he promised, after he'd started again with Noah, that he would never ever do that again. So when you see a rainbow in the sky, just remember, that rainbow is God's promise that he is never going to wipe out the earth again. So when horrible things like the coronavirus come around, it'll be okay. Yes, certainly some people will go, but it was not going to take out the whole earth, because God said that's not going to happen again. So when you see that rainbow in the sky, just remember God's promise. I'm sure all of you know how to create rainbows on paper, and I'm sure you probably already have done so with felt tips, crayons, and displayed them in your windows. But here is an interesting way to make a rainbow-ish sort of design that's slightly more fun, and you can do it in a kitchen or outside. I'm doing it outside. Now what you need is a bowl of sweets, a plate, preferably as flat as you can, a sheet of loo roll, no not loo roll was last week, a sheet of kitchen towel because it's bigger than loo roll, and some water, preferably warmish, as it speeds up the reaction. Right, and what you need to do is take the sweets and place them in the rainbow order if you possibly can. Red, orange, yellow, green. There's no blues here, so this is blue, indigo and violet. And then either reverse the pattern or repeat the pattern until you have lots and lots of sweets going around and around your plate. I seem to have more of some colours than others. I may find my rainbow being quite amusing. Now obviously this isn't actually going to make a rainbow, this is going to make a rainbow coloured pie chart, probably more accurately, but it should still be fun, and that's the main thing. Right, here we go, still going round, purple, then back to, Have I done that right? Yes. Yes, that's correct. Now I need a green one next. And an orange one. And a red one. And to finish my pattern I need another orange one. And a yellow one. And a green one. Last but not least. Right. You will notice they have now been stolen by someone who is probably going to eat them before I finish the experiment.
No, I'm not. I just got them there in case.
I may get to eat one later, if I'm lucky. Right. Once you are happy that you have spaced them all reasonably equally, what you do is you get some water. Well, first you get it as flat as you possibly can. I still think I'm not quite flat because my garden isn't flat. My tray isn't flat. Pretty much nothing here is flat. Right, now I'm going to pour water as delicately as I can around the outside of my plate. Right, that's that done. Now that has soaked through, and as yet I'm not seeing an awful lot of colour coming off the sweets. So possibly I was supposed to pour the water over the sweets. I'll just check. Now, the video I saw of this, yes, that's definitely releasing a lot more colour. Now, the video I saw of this, it was incredibly wet. Right, yes, there are now colours coming. Right, we're going to have to leave that be for a while and film the results in a while. What I thought would be rather fun would be to try and create a rainbow so everyone can see it. Now, the fastest and easiest way to create a rainbow is to make some rain when the sun's out. Usually, at the moment, the sun is way too high in the sky for a rainbow, so I'm going to have to, Lolly's going to have to stand up so she can get high enough to then see a rainbow in the spray that's going to come out of this hose. Lolly, can you see a rainbow?
Yes, I can. Oh,
Excellent.
I can. Yes.
Can you see it over there?
Yeah, I can see it over
Can
there.
you see it all the way around there?
Yeah.
That is a rainbow.
A rainbow, everyone.
And that is created by sunlight bouncing back at you out of water droplets in the air. So when those little children's books that show a rainbow in a completely clear sky could never happen. It has to come in the clouds. And if you read the Bible, it will say that yes, the rainbow came in the clouds.
Wonderful.
Right, the results of the Skittles rainbow experiment, you can tell I use Skittles because, well, basically I put too much water on mine. This is my results. They are literally rock hard. Because I put too much water on it and needed it to dry out the same day, I kept it reasonably, really rather warm. And my Skittles have absolutely melted. They gave off plenty of colour, as you can see, but unfortunately because my water was so deep and I had to move it while the water was still on there, it mingled quite a bit before I found a safe place away from Jodie for it to actually dry. So it's main things, don't put as much water on as I did. And secondly, probably best to use a paper plate because this is absolutely glued on. I've been trying to get it off with a knife. I don't think it's going to come, I'll be honest. So I'll probably be washing this with a scourer later. I believe if you didn't use as much heat as I did, in order to try and dry the thing out for the video to go to press, then you would probably have been absolutely fine. The colours wouldn't have mingled quite so badly and it might look much more rainbowy. Good luck.